Hello, ladies and gents. It is Saturday, the 26th of March 2022, and it is Proclamation News and Gatherence. I'm the capital P in prodigious, capital P in professor, capital P in proclamation, capital P in persuasion, capital P in persuasive, capital P in progression, capital P in progressive, capital P in propaganda. Let's go. Flux with the flow and flux with the show. Today we're going to look inside the UK car instance. We've got criminology, more UK politics, and more family updates. Thank you for tuning in, guys. If you're listening on YouTube, Castbox, Podbean, Spotify, you name it, Proclamation News and Gatherence claims it. So before you enter the UK roads, think first, think safety. Do not enter your vehicle under sleep deprivation or under the influence of alcohol and narcotics. Check your engine oil, your water coolant tank, make sure the top's up to maximum level. Check your PSI limits. Make sure you and passengers have seatbelts and your babies have seatbelts adapters adjacent to the car seat. Check for further road signs, police safety signs and actions as well. And check out for road workers. Check out for road workers. Be vigilant around roadworks just in case a road worker is moving behind the fence. So drive vigilantly. Check your centre mirror and wing mirror before turning, acting into a safe, sufficient direction of choice. Make sure motorcyclists or motorists are not overtaken. Anyway, before we move on, let's look inside the UK roads. Ipswich in Suffolk, we have an incident on A14. Rams closed due to recovery work on A14 eastbound at junction 54. That's all right, Carl. Don't worry, mate. Sprouton Road. Sprouton traffic is coping well. Slip roads are shut for recovery of the overturned vehicle. The main A14 is open. I'll catch up with you in a bit, girl. I'm just doing my radio. Bishop's Stortford. I won by a massive margin. I'm in the semis now. M11. Rome closed, slow traffic congestion to other. Rome closed to slow traffic due to weekend works until the early hours of Monday morning on M11 northbound from Junction 7, A414 Keynes Lane, Harlow to Junction 8, A120 Bishop Stortford. Congestion to the A414 Harlow Road between Harlow Mill Roundabout and the Saw Bridgeworth. There you go. Stevenage. Anyone lives in Greater London? Here we go. Swingate. Road closed. Debris on road. Unsafe building. On Swingate, both roads between A602 Lytton Way and Westgate Shopping Centre. The building under demolition collapsed on Tuesday the 22nd. Swingate West and Westgate car parks are also closed. Wow, the building under demolition collapsed. Hopefully no one's under that building as it collapsed. I pretty much doubt it. I don't send people inside a demolition building, but you never know. You never know. They could have had some homeless people using it as shelter, but in this weather, who knows? I wouldn't think so. Hopefully not. But anyway, Central London. A100 bridge due to open at 12:15 and 1 p.m. On A100 Tower Bridge approach at Tower Bridge. 7:38 this morning reported. These are all incidents today. Towards West London, A205 emergency repairs, restrictions and queuing traffic due to emergency repairs on the A205 South Circular and Grosvenor Avenue. Temporary traffic lights are in place. 26th of May 2022 at 8:24 a.m. Is anyone struggling financially? You know, tax has gone up, petrol rates have gone up, energy bills gone up. Anyone thought about using public transport? We're turning back, organic green. We're trying to turn back organic green, saving the ecosystem. Why don't you catch public transport, especially from non-necessary essential shops, essential shopping? If you're not using your car, if you're using your car for essential shopping trips in town, then you are wasting fuel. You're polluting the air. Why would you? There's enough pollution, industrialisation pollution, letting anything else. if you want to become an environmentalist, you lot suffer because you have to use your vehicle. You don't think about using public transport. My goodness. Anyway, people are suffering with their energy bills. Their costs are soaring up. Everyone's probably panicking, suffering anxiety, depression, perhaps. Well, there is help out there, but you need to look and you need to sit there and work hard. You need to work hard. You got Turn to Us. You got CAP, Christians Against Poverty. There's so many organisations you can ask for help and get help. If you don't believe me, ring Citizens Advice. But the advice I just give you is there on a tin, so it'll probably save you about 2 hours on the phone to Citizens Advice. Yeah, if you don't believe what I'm saying, ring Citizens Advice and I'll tell you what I said. But the numbers are on the internet. Just research it. Christians Against Poverty and Turn to Us. They've all got the same thingies. They've all got the same helplines to help you get funded for your energy bills. Or if they can't help you get funded, they help you break down what you can afford and what you can't afford. And they don't allow for drugs and not alcohol. So just bear that in mind. If you're doing alcohol, narcotics, you don't deserve help. Simple as that. They need to cut down on that as well. Even people on PIP using their money on drugs is ridiculous, and alcohol really is horrific. Because the people who have a guilty pleasure out of other people that need the help, and you're putting yourself in jeopardy by drinking and taking narcotics. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm going to have a quick break, so I want to share all them car incidents, and we're going to come back to some criminology, royal family updates, Russia, Ukraine updates, and we're just going to enjoy the show. I used to do like a 2-hour show, but I'm not doing a 2-hour show today. It's only going to be about 45 minutes, half hour. So stay tuned. If you're staying both observed and preserved, you're part of the aristocracy social elite. Thank you very much.
Getting better all the time. This year they will have ranges of 200-300 miles, whereas a few years ago you could only get them with ranges of about 120 miles. And so actually the ones that are on the market are the older generation ones. Some of the newer ones that are coming to the market that will go onto the used market in the next 2 or 3 years are very long range, very competitive ones. But at the moment the choice is still limited in terms of second-hand vehicles.
Steve Gooding with me, Director of the RSC Foundation. Welcome. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
Have you taken the leap, or have you got 4 children under 7.5 as well, like the mad Peter Campbell?
I'm afraid, unlike Peter, I don't have 4 children. I'm quite grateful for that. And no, I'm afraid I'm still driving around in my old petrol car because, and I'd echo what Peter was saying there, my old petrol car cost me £6,000 a while ago. And I'm not really in the market for a brand new car. I wish I was. There's some really nice ones to be had out there. I suspect I will end up with an electric car, but it's not going to be for a year or 2 yet.
Yes, so I mean, I think a lot of people are in exactly that position. Do you trust the government when they say they're going to get to 300,000? Are you wearing a headphone, Steve? He's just, I think.
I was, but I've stopped.
That's great. Yeah, no, great. We were just hearing some heavy breathing.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. So, Steve, 300,000 car charging points, 99% reliability by 2030. How realistic do you suppose that is from the government as a promise?
Well, I think there's 2 things to say about it, really. So, the first is, I think they're right to be focused on reliability. There's nothing more frustrating, I think, for someone who's made the plunge, gone electric, they're going onto ZapMap or one of the services to find a charger. They found it and it's not working, and that story comes up again and again, and we've got to get away from that. I think the government is on the right track to achieve it, but we're quite a long way away yet. So I would say there's a lot that's good in the government's announcements last week. There's a lot that plays to issues that were coming up at a conference that Peter and I were both at earlier in the week at the QE2 Centre about how we're going to get the rollout. The biggest challenge in the rolling out of those 300,000 is where are they going to be put and what sort are they? You talked about the ultra-fast chargers. For people who live in homes that don't have off-street parking, who are going to be reliant on the public network, they're going to need that public network to be convenient, easy to access, and if they need to park their car for a long time, for example, if they're on a slow charger, then they're going to want it to be convenient for where they live. They're not going to have to walk miles in order to plug in and leave the vehicle overnight. So all of that's got to be tackled.
Yes, and also, Peter Campbell, there's going to be an act.
Just going to have a little pause there. We're going to go back to the show. Thank you. Flux with the show. Flux with the flow and Flux with the show. Come back with a brand new edition. We had some time away from Proclamation, News and Gatherence. But here I am, the prodigious Professor Johnson inside the building. Thank you for coming through. Why would you get involved in party politics? Have your say. Have your say in your children's upbringing. Maybe you're not happy with how the environment's been taken over by new builds or population growth, industrialisation, pollution. Look at the eco-friendly system, non-essential trips to town centres, people using public transport. Have your say. Get involved. Shape up the globe. Anyway, if you're under 26, it's £5 per year. Standard party membership. This is for Conservative. The longest ever growing governmental policy. Conservative. Standard is £25 per year. Members can play an active role in the party, can attend our annual conference and receive voting rights in party elections after 3 months of membership, all from £25 per year or £2.09 per month. If you're armed forces or ex-armed forces, £15 per year. It's literally peanuts getting involved, isn't it? Just pay monthly, £2 a month. It's nothing, comes out your bank, you don't even notice, go out. I'll do it every month. I was also part of the massive, we call it a Stanway invasion. We went campaigning in the Stanway. Will Quince wasn't there, but one of his members of his office was there. We had Darius, which is nice. And we had people come all the way from Whitton to come support us on the massive campaign that we did. We had an absolute marvellous, prodigious turnout. We must have delivered about 2,400 leaflets, but there was about 12 of us, to be fair. But what a turnout. We smashed the Lexden ward. So that was brilliant. Anyway, what can your membership get you? It can help us win elections. The fickle minds won't know anything about politics because they're inappropriate, they're incompetent, they're incomprehensible. They have no idea what politics is. Anyway, choose candidates and to vote in leadership elections so you can choose the people you want to represent you. Take part in our campaign groups like the Conservative Women's Organisation or the Young Conservatives. Meet like-minded people and make a difference to our country. Come to a conference. Join the MPs, councillors and activists in the biggest event of the Conservative calendar. Get the latest inside the party with regular member updates and exclusive member invites. Influence party policy by giving feedback on policy briefs. Connect with local Conservatives. As a member, you become part of the local association, support local campaigns and attend social events with members just like you. Stand for election. You can stand for election. You've got to get involved. Just like I was saying, why stand for election? Not many people know how to stand for election. That's because you're not involved. That's because you're too busy sitting outside the fence, being a critical idiot on social media. So if you get yourself involved, then you know what you're talking about. Until then, there you go. Don't get yourself inside becoming a critic or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube critic thinking you know it all when you clearly ain't even involved because what you say doesn't mean nothing. Stand for election. Members have the opportunity to stand for election as Conservatives. So if you decide that you want to take part in our democracy, you can. It's like it's like football hooligans, isn't it? You get football hooligans outside the football club. But I'm an Arsenal hooligan, but I've never been to a match. But I'm gonna be a hooligan in Ipswich, or I'm gonna be a hooligan in Liverpool. But I'm an Arsenal fan. But you don't live near Arsenal, but you're an Arsenal fan and you're an Arsenal hooligan. But you've never been to a game. Get involved. Get yourself involved. Stand up for election. Get yourself involved. Become a member, and then you can talk politics. Until then, don't get involved. As simple as that. I mean, I can't stress enough to the uneducated, inhumane society today, but that is enough evidence to show stupidity throughout the inhumane society that we live amongst. Anyway, Essex Live. We're looking at some criminology inside Essex. Looking at the mens rea habilitation of the society we live amongst. It's not even mens rea. Well, it is. It's a thought. It's a thought of murder. I kind of think. I'd say so. I haven't looked at the actual headline yet. Colchester woman arrested as another is put in hospital after attack. She's attacked someone. Was it a thought of murder? But when you attack someone, the chance of murder could happen even if you just struck them on the head and she falls over, hits her head on the curb, and she's dead. So, in a roundabout sense, yes. Another woman is due to appear in court charged with attempted grievous bodily harm assault by beating and possession of an offensive weapon. And with an offensive weapon. Oh my absolute goodness. A woman was rushed to hospital after being attacked near Residential Road. Essex police officers were called at Penrice Close, Colchester, shortly before 3:30 on Tuesday, March the 22nd. Upon arrival, they discovered a woman injured. She was taken to hospital for treatment, but she is not believed to be in a life-threatening condition. Another woman, Solly Elsa, 19, of the Forest Road, Colchester, has been charged in relation to the incident and will appear before Colchester Magistrates Court on Thursday, the 24th of March. She has been charged with attempted grievous bodily harm, GBH, assault by beating and possession of the offensive weapon. Essex police believe that there are no wider risk to the public, but police presence in the area of Grinstead, Colchester, will be likely in the coming days. Anybody with any information will be asked to come forward. Chief Superintendent Simon Anslow said, "Thankfully, incidents of this nature are rare in Colchester, and the town remains a safe place in which to live and work. We do not believe there to be a wider risk to the public, but that can expect to see a continued visible police presence in the Grinstead area in the coming days. If you have any concerns or any information, please come and speak to one of our officers." I'll tell you what, the Colchester Town Centre is very, very well run and organised. It's such a clean and tidy town, soon to be city status. Anyone who saw anything or has CCTV dashcam or doorbell footage has been asked to contact Essex Police. If you have any further information, you can submit a report online at www.essexpolice.uk or use the live chat button to speak to them online. National insurance. What Rishi Sunak was talking about the national insurance contributions. He says, national insurance, who will benefit from Rishi Sunak's threshold rise? The disabled, perhaps? It means we'll be able to earn £12,570 a year without paying any income tax or national insurance. The Chancellor said it will benefit 30 million Brits and not just those who are earning below the threshold. There was some good news to come out of this week's spring statement, despite the fact the government is pressing ahead with a national insurance increase of 1.25%. It's also announced it was rising to the threshold at which national insurance has to be paid. On Twitter, Mr. Sunak said from July, people will be able to earn £12,570 a year without paying any income tax or national insurance. It's a £6 billion personal tax cut for 30 million people in the UK. I've looked at how much money I've earned since 2000 up until 2011. Oh my goodness! I nearly had a heart attack. I could have bought two houses. I could have bought two or three houses over in Essex. That's how much I earn. But where is it? Where's my cars? Where's my houses? Where's my children? They're nowhere to be seen. It's all evaporated. But let me tell you something. The end of the road. Don't ever give up when you come to the end of the road. There's still more to keep fighting. Keep pushing on. Look at what I've made around me now. I don't even want to show you too much of what's inside my house, but I've built my life up once again. Slowly but surely, but I'm getting there. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Never, ever give up in life. That's what I'm here to tell you. Anyway, yeah, Rishi Sunak is at its well worth over $330 a year and the largest increase in basic rate threshold ever. I'll tell you what, I have absolutely grafted my socks off over the years, being involved in building infrastructure. I'm not even going to go through the jobs I've been at since the age of 15. He added, it's worth over 330 a year and is the largest increase in basic rate threshold ever. Commentators welcomed the move, which is also to see people who earn above the threshold better off. Laura Suter, the head of personal finance at the AJ Bell, said the Chancellor went one step further than the League plans and extended national insurance threshold of 12,570, meaning that everyone earning below this limit will pay no income tax and no national insurance. By bringing it in the move in July, rather than immediately, taxpayers won't get a full year. She said it will mean that the average worker who earns more than this 12,570 threshold will save 330 a year once the change kicks in. Ms. Suter explained the government says that 70% of people currently paying national insurance will see a reduction in their bill, even with pushing ahead with the increased 1.25% levy. Despite this, taxpayers will still see the national insurance contribution rise by 1.25% points in April. It will mean national insurance will hit 13.25% for people earning between 184 and 967 a week from April. Britons who have reached state pension age will also be expected to pay a 1.25% health and social care levy if they earn than 184 a week. It has left campaigners worried about how people, especially pensioners, will manage to make ends meet. You can see Proclamation News and Gatherence, their comment up there, and I'm live on YouTube in front of me, by the way. The government says the increase is necessary in order to raise $12 billion to fund social care and the NHS. National insurance will rise 1.25% points from April. The new rate of 13.25% will apply to people paying Class 1 national insurance rate on income between £184 to £967 a week. That's £797 to £4,189 a month. An employee earning £20,000 a year will have to look to fork out an extra £130. Anyone on £50,000 salary will have to find an additional £505. Well, I don't think that's going to be too hard, is it? When you're on £50,000 a year. I've got to pay £500 out of tax and that. Wow, that's going to hurt. Not. Anyway, moving on. The royal family. The royal family. I like talking about the royal family because a lot of my family, my granddad was made in Chelsea. He's also a Grenadier Guard, and my cousin Jonathan, both Grenadier Guards. Looking after the royal family, making sure they're safe, security at the front gate of Buckinghamshire Palace. A lot of you didn't know, but there you go. That was their job role, and that's why I'm influenced to talk about the royal family. Royal family updates. I'd love to stay in the Reuben Hotel, which is just outside Buckinghamshire Palace. Do you know what? It's about £300 a night, but for in Buckinghamshire Palace and the hotel, it is absolutely immaculate condition. Absolute royalty inside. It's so beautiful inside. The interior, the lot, decoration, the mirrors, the dining room. It's absolutely stunning for £300 a night in London. It's pretty shocked how cheap it is. To be fair, it's a lot of money to likes of me, average people like me and you. But if you can afford that for one night, maybe I don't know, maybe you got a date, maybe Valentine's Day gift. I'll tell you what, it's worth a trip if you can afford it. Prince William, Kate Middleton's Caribbean tour labelled a royal disaster. Morning, Chantel. Prince William and Kate Middleton's charm and offensive failed to change the determined minds to Jamaicans to free themselves from under the rule of the British monarchy. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge toured the Caribbean on behalf of Queen Elizabeth II as part of their Platinum Jubilee celebrations. They started off in Belize and then in Jamaica, and with their last stop in the Bahamas. They were welcomed to dancing and to the taste of local chocolates during their first stop. They tried to immerse themselves in the nation's culture before they proceeded to Jamaica, but their arrival there was met by protesters demanding reparations for a British monarchy's enslavement of their people thousands of years ago. Prince William and Kate Middleton had hoped to turn Jamaicans off from the idea that they can be an independent nation. But their hope fell flat when the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, strongly made it known that his country wants to remove Queen Elizabeth II as head of state. That's exactly what Scotland done as well, wasn't it? But a massive rivalry with Scotland. They started to set alight. Well, I'll tell you what it was. It's the Postbox War, actually. Queen Elizabeth II, and our postbox. She had this Queen's Sphere on a postbox in Scotland. And Scotland done a Postbox War and set alight to all the Queen Elizabeth II's postbox, basically. Anyway, moving on. In response, the Duke of Cambridge only acknowledged that slavery was abhorrent and should never have happened. During his speech at the Governor's General residence on Wednesday, March the 23rd, he condemned slavery as expressed his profound sorrow, but did not ask for forgiveness, as what the protesters wanted, and made no mention of any reparations. Jamaica is almost certainly going to become a republic. It's happening. Graham Smith, Chief Executive of Republic, a British group campaigning for the abolition of the monarchy, told Newsweek. He said the assumption was that they were going there to try to shore up the support for the monarchy and stop other countries following Barbados, and I think it's had the direct opposed effect. I reckon, yeah, because it's in South Africa as well. She's I think she's head of state of Africa as well. I'm pretty sure of it. I know there's a lot of monarchy stuff over there. That's for sure, for certain. On post boxes, perhaps. You have to check that one out. Google it. Post boxes in South Africa. I'm pretty certain there's post boxes with the Queen's Sphere on in South Africa. To make matters worse is a photo of Prince William and Kate Middleton shaking hands with children from behind wire mesh fencing. They greeted the children who have gathered outside to see during their visit of the Trench Town in Kingston to meet Manchester City and England soccer star Raheem Sterling at the football pitch. Smith said photo caused quite a stir, though it was cropped and not as bad as it looked, he explained. The fact it did the rounds and caused such reactions speaks in volumes about people's feeling about the monarchy and the British legacy in the Caribbean. Prince William and Kate Middleton face more problems with their Bahamas tour, as they will again be asked to make a formal apology and address reparations. Wow. What happens if they all go independent? What happens to the power of England then, huh? All the money they've done to support these countries, the poor countries, come back on their feet. They sucked them in, these poor countries sucked them in to help them support, and now they're on their feet. They don't want their support no more. They don't want their name on top of the monarchy. They don't want their monarchy involved. Russia, Ukraine war. What we know on day 31 of the invasion. This was written 7 hours ago, actually live today. Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, has again urged Russia to negotiate end of war, but also said that Ukraine would not agree to give up any of its territory to achieve peace. French President Emmanuel Macron is trying to assemble an international coalition to evacuate civilians from Mariupol. Macron said France was working with Turkey and Greece on a humanitarian operation. I'll have a discussion with the President Vladimir Putin within the next 48 to 72 hours to work out details and secure more delights, he has said. Hello, Christelle. US President Joe Biden has visited the Polish town of Westmisnter. I don't know how to say it because I don't know how to speak Polish. An hour's drive from the Ukrainian border, in a show of support for Eastern European states that are seeing Russian aggression wreak havoc in their neighbourhood. Authorities in Mariupol have said as many as 300 people were killed in a Russian bombing of a theatre last week, putting a death toll the first time on a deadliest single attack since Moscow launched its invasion. I mean, why did Joe Biden feel the necessary need to visit Poland, which is next door to Ukraine, but Russia ain't invading Poland, they're invading Ukraine? What's that? So, is he get some sort of bravery award? Wow, Joe Biden, you're almost in the war, but not quite in the war. You absolute juvenile idiot. Crazy. They're just trying to get a name for themselves. These presidents, these prime ministers, all trying to get a name for themselves. I'm going to enter the outskirts of Ukraine, but not actually step a foot inside there. Just get a bravery award and get the whole democracy to think, wow, you are amazing. You've done so much for Ukraine, standing inside Poland. You absolute reptile. How horrific is that? And everyone votes for shiny tooth Joe Biden. What an amazing president. Anyway, Western officials have said they believe a Russian commander was run over by mutinous forces during the fighting in Ukraine, in a sign what they described as the moral challenges faced by the invading forces. Vladimir Putin has accused the West for discriminating against Russian culture, comparing the treatment of Russian culture figures to that is cancelled Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. Russian President on Friday signed the law bill introducing jail terms of up to 15 years for publishing what the Kremlin deems fake information about any of Russia's actions abroad. Russia's defense ministry said on Friday that the first phase of the military operation was generally complete and it would focus on the liberation of Ukraine's eastern Donbas regions. US officials were cautious about whether this meant that the Kremlin was scaling back in overall objects amid the Hafsard war campaign. Ladies and gents, that is the end of Proclamation, News and Gatherence. So I want to say God bless, take care, one love, see you soon. That's me over on YouTube, that's me over on Spotify, that's me over on Castbox, that's me over on Podbean and on Google FM. Thank you, take care, one love, speak soon.